Well, good afternoon, everybody. I just want to do a quick update video on some changes I've made since my last video. There was a hollyhock back here, a really huge hollyhock, and it had started to get covered with rust. It never bloomed for me. It was about 3 or 4 feet tall and wide. It was taking up that enormous space that grass is in now. But I'm worried about it spreading to my other plants. I don't really know much about rust. It's the first time I've dealt with it, so I just decided to cut it out. I actually moved it to my wildflower garden down on the terrace, which I'll show you guys in another video. But anyway, I just wanted to update with some changes I made. So I moved that. I replaced it with this tall grass. I believe that's maidenhair grass. This right here is a little boxwood, I think. I'll have to look at the tag, but I'm pretty sure that's what that is, some sort of quick growing boxwood. I moved the Weigela. I had 2 Weigelas, one there and one over here, which I also replaced with the boxwood. And I moved those Weigelas to a different place in my yard, and I'll show you where that is in a little bit as well. Right here, if you remember, I had planted some switchgrass, and then right next to it was a tiny wine 9-bark bush that was getting burnt. I had it covered up with a basket. Unfortunately, it just continued to decline. I think it's dead. I moved it to a shadier part of my yard, but I don't really expect it to make it. So that's unfortunate. I was looking forward to that particular shrub being here, but replaced it with another grass. I was thinking anyway that this particular bed needed more grass. So now I've got 2 grasses that should grow up and be a nice addition to this bed. Let's see. I might be moving this rose right here. It's supposed to be a new dawn climbing rose, but based on the color of it, I don't think it's New Dawn, and that's really not the color I was going for in this particular bed. I wanted more of like a true pinks. That's more of like a corally pink. So I've got a bunch of Invincibelle Spirit 2 hydrangeas planted in this bed, and some other hydrangeas that are going to be white and pink, and these pink drift roses here. Anyway, I just I don't like mixing the warm and the cool pinks, so I'm probably going to end up moving that rose. This one right here is also supposed to be a climbing New Dawn rose, but I've never gotten any bloom on it. It hasn't given me as much growth this year as the other one, so I'm not really sure what that's going to turn out to be like. I think that's the only changes I made. Oh, actually, no, there's one more thing. There was I think it's called a Hot Lips plant right here, and I replaced that with this old gold juniper. Just because I didn't really like the Hot Lips there, I didn't think it went in this area, and I need more winter interest, I guess. Something that's not going to die back to the ground in the winter. So I put that there. This little guy's just sitting here until I figure out where to put him, but that was a plant I got on clearance. Let's see. Something else new I've done here recently. I dug up my purple fountain grass, and I put them in these planters because I bought them as annuals because they were really cheap, and I just needed something to fill in a space in my yard, and I like them so much I don't want them to die when winter comes. So I decided to put them in pots, and I'll move them inside during the winter. I don't know if they'll survive, but if they do survive in my house, great, I'll put them back out. And I also think they look really great on the porch, so it's a nice little addition. Okay, over here to my shade garden. Last time I filmed, I don't believe I had mulch in here, so I have remulched this garden. It was basically just really broken down, a very thin layer of mulch that was already here when I moved in, so I added that. I think it looks good. Here is that hot lips plant that I was talking about that I moved from my hydrangea garden over to here. And it's more of a purpley pink, and this is my kind of purple area, so I think it's going to go better over here. Look at that, I got some liriope, however you say it, blooming. First time that one's bloomed for me. This is a geranium, looking good. So that tiny wine 9 bark, this is it. You can barely see it, it's just all completely dead. I don't think that's gonna make it. Unfortunate. I do have another 9 bark though. Let me show you over here. And it's doing beautifully. So this one is planted pretty much in full sun. Or at least I'd say 2/3 of the day it gets sun. But look at how nice he looks. Nice and strong. That one's going to be nice. So, upcoming plans. I'm going to be chopping this whole layer of shrubs down. If you look right here, you can see where they were cut down in the past before I moved here. That's about where I'm going to cut them down to. I want them really short. And I'm going to see how I like it as like a low box type hedge, because I've never liked this ever since I've moved in here. It blocks my view looking out over the neighborhood, and we already live on a really steep terrace, and so it blocks the view of my house from the road. I just don't think it looks good. I don't know what to do with it. Pardon this box. I'm in the progress of making this area a 3rd terrace, so I'm laying down cardboard and slowly covering it with mulch as I get a chance to run to the store and stuff like that. I might do that today, grab some more, but eventually I'm going to cut this down low, and I'm adding this 3rd terrace that's going to run all the way from here and all the way across, and I'm going to start filling that in with more plants and mulch and everything so it looks nice. And then hopefully these plants will be visible from both the other sides, from the house looking out and from the street looking up. It'll be the 3rd terrace. Now I've shown you guys my wild terrace before. It's not looking much better, but I have gotten about half of the grass pulled. And when I say pulled, I don't mean perfect. I just mean to the point that it's not smothering all the other plants. So I still have about halfway to go on that. It had been so hot that it really just kills any motivation that I have to get that done. I'd prefer to work in the shadier parts of my yard. So this is the side that's kind of been pulled already. The other side is just total wild. But there's a lot of wildflowers in there. Pollinators and everything love it, so somebody's getting enjoyment out of it. Oh, I also added mulch to these areas. So right here, oh, this is where I moved the weigela too. So there's a weigela there, and then this is a peony, and then over here another weigela and peony. Then these plants that are the closest to my railing are grapevines. They were badly decimated by the Japanese beetles. I'm going to have to really work on that this year because I had a terrible infestation. And when I started doing the research on it, I learned that they live in the ground for about 10 months out of the year probably, and they eat on your grass roots and even tree roots. And so now I'm concerned because I had been noticing this area of my grass that was like really fine, hairy looking and kind of dead, but not fully dead. And I have multiple patches like that throughout my yard, and I was wondering, like, what is up with this grass? Why does it look like that? And I thought, just because it's a hot summer, we haven't gotten a lot of rain this year, I thought maybe that was the issue. But now I'm starting to think that it might be those Japanese beetles. And this tree right here has some dead branches in it. And that's also something that I read up on about Japanese beetles, that so basically in the warmer months, if they're not above ground eating your plants and they're below ground during the warmer months, like say August through, I don't know, October, November, they're eating your grass roots. And then once it starts getting really cold, they go deeper and they're eating tree roots and stuff like that. So I've got to get something to treat that, because I'm just not going to risk having another tree that I have to cut down. I'm already having to cut down this giant mammoth tree that shades almost my whole house. That's probably going to be happening in the next month. So, oh, that brings me to something else new though. I planted this butterfly magnolia tree. I'm so excited about this tree, you guys. It has these cute little fuzzy catkin things on it. And if you've never heard of a butterfly magnolia, they get beautiful yellow blooms in early spring. So pretty much before anything else flowers, they put out huge yellow flowers. And I'm just really excited about this tree. It's kind of a smallish to medium. I think it grows to like, I'll have to look at the tag and stuff, but I think it said like 25 feet max tall by like 15 feet wide. So it shouldn't be a problem here in between my neighbor's house and my house. Now the second tree that I bought is a greenspire linden tree. And I'm waiting to plant this until this tree comes down, because where I'm going to be planting it is going to be right about here. And the reason that I'm picking this spot is I want to make sure that the branches and everything aren't going to be hitting my shed or my neighbor's house or my house. And yet it's still getting full sun, and it will still allow my other tree over there to have enough sun. That butterfly magnolia can handle part shade, but the linden tree needs to be in full sun. So anyway, I think this is going to be a good spot for it. I'm just waiting until we get this tree cut down, because I don't want to have a branch accidentally smash it or something. I mean, these are mammoth branches. What else did I do? I planted 4 of these emerald green arbor varieties. I'm not sure if I'm saying that right. I was really on the fence. I bought these thinking they were going to be smaller, and then I almost didn't plant them because I thought they were the other kind of arbor variety that gets like 50 feet tall or something, and I was like, oh my god, I don't want them that tall. But then I read more, and the green emerald, which is this kind, only gets to about 3 feet wide and about 15 feet tall, I think. So these are going to look fine. I'm also going to be adding some, they're called pencil juniper, I think. They only get about 1 foot wide and like 10 foot tall at most, I think. So I'm going to put those kind of staged next to these. And then I'm going to be adding in some fatter shrubs. And my plan is to line this entire wall with shrubs to add more privacy between my house and my neighbor's house, and also for the birds, because they need shrubs for places to hide. Oh, this is where I moved the switchgrass. Switchgrass can tolerate part shade, and I really like it over here. I think it looks cute. This right here, Rose of Sharon. I forget the exact variety, but it's cute. It's right next to my purple garden, purple flowers. Here's another old gold juniper. that about covers it. Weather is finally starting to get cooler. It's like, I think the high is like 85 or something today. Yesterday the high was like 78. It was awesome. I mowed the grass. I weed whacked, and I did a bunch of planting, and I love it on those days when it's not miserable out, so I can actually get things done. Okay, I think that covers it. Thanks for watching.